Narcissists feed on your reactions. Your anger fuels them. Your explanations give them ammunition. Your emotional responses are exactly what they want because it means they still have power over you. But there's one sentence that starves them. It's so boring, so unrewarding, that they lose interest and move on to someone else who'll give them the drama they crave. Most people think the only way to deal with a narcissist is to fight back or cut them off completely. But sometimes you can't go no contact. Sometimes it's a coworker, a family member, someone you have to deal with. This sentence makes you invisible to them, not because you disappear, but because you become so uninteresting that you're no longer worth their energy. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say and why it works. Let's start with what narcissists are actually looking for. Before I give you the sentence, you need to understand what narcissists are hunting for. Because once you understand what they want, you'll understand why this response is so effective. Narcissists need something called narcissistic supply. That's the psychological term for attention, validation, and emotional reactions. They don't care if the reaction is positive or negative. They just need to know they're affecting you. When you get angry, they win. When you defend yourself, they win. When you try to explain or reason with them, they win. Because all of those responses prove they still have control over your emotions. Think about the last argument you had with a narcissist. Did they actually care about resolving the issue? Or were they more interested in keeping the argument going, twisting your words, moving the goalposts? That's because the argument itself is the point. The chaos is the supply. Your frustration, your confusion, your desperate attempts to make them understand. That's what they're feeding on. Now here's what most people don't realize. Narcissists are strategic. They target people who give good supply. People who are empathetic, who explain themselves, who feel guilty, who try to fix things. If you've been targeted by a narcissist, it's not an accident. It's because you've been rewarding to engage with. You've given reactions that were interesting. The sentence I'm about to give you removes that reward completely. Here it is. The sentence that makes narcissists leave you alone. That's interesting. Or the slightly longer version. HMM, okay, that's it? No emotion, no engagement, no defense, just a bland acknowledgement. Now, you're probably thinking, that's it. That's the magic sentence. Yes, and here's why it's so powerful. It gives the narcissist absolutely nothing to work with. No anger to escalate. No explanation to pick apart. No emotional reaction to feed on. It's the conversational equivalent of a gray rock. Boring, unremarkable, completely uninteresting. Let me show you how this plays out. A narcissist says something designed to get a reaction. You always mess things up. I don't know why I even bother with you. Old response. That's not true. I work really hard, and you never appreciate anything I do. You're the one who, you're defending, you're engaging, you're giving supply. New response. HMM. Okay, and then you say nothing else. You don't explain. You don't defend. You don't ask them to clarify. You just stop. The narcissist will be confused. They threw out bait and you didn't bite. So they'll try again. Usually harder. Did you even hear what I said? You're being so dismissive? Old response. I'm not being dismissive. I just think you're being unfair and still engaging. Still giving supply. New response. That's interesting. And again, you stop. No explanation of why it's interesting. No follow-up. Just complete disengagement disguised as polite acknowledgement. This technique is based on something therapists call the gray rock method. The concept is simple. You make yourself as interesting as a gray rock, completely unremarkable. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, who specializes in narcissistic abuse, explains that narcissists are like emotional vampires. They need supply to survive. And when you stop providing supply, they have two choices: escalate to try to get a reaction, or move on to someone else who's more rewarding. The goal isn't to punish them or to win an argument. The goal is to become so boring that you're not worth their time. Here's what happens in a narcissist's brain when you use this method. They experience what is called narcissistic injury when they can't get a rise out of you. Their sense of power depends on being able to affect you. When you don't react, they feel powerless. And narcissists hate feeling powerless. So they escalate. They try harder. They might get angry, play victim, accuse you of being cold or rude. Whatever they think might crack your gray rock exterior. This is the critical moment. If you react to the escalation, you've just taught them that all they have to do is push harder, and you'll give them what they want. But if you maintain the gray rock, if you keep responding with boring, emotionless acknowledgments, they'll eventually give up. Because you're not rewarding, you're not fun, you're just there, like a piece of furniture. Let me be very clear about something. This is not about being passive or weak. This is strategic disengagement. You're not accepting their behavior. You're just refusing to feed it. Let me walk you through exactly how to use this in different scenarios with narcissists. Scenario 1. The provocation: a narcissist says something designed to hurt you or make you angry. You're so sensitive. No one else has a problem with me, just you. Your gray rock response: okay. They escalate. See? You can't even defend yourself. You know I'm right. Your response: that's interesting. They escalate again. What's interesting? Are you even listening to me? Your response: yep. And you look away or go back to what you were doing. Notice what you're not doing. You're not explaining why you're not sensitive. You're not listing examples of other people who have problems with them. You're not defending your right to feel how you feel. You're just not engaging. Let me tell you about a woman named Rachel, 46 years old. Her mother is a textbook narcissist. For years, Rachel tried to have rational conversations with her, tried to set boundaries, tried to explain how her mother's behavior affected her. It never worked. Her mother would twist everything, play victim, gaslight her about what was said. Every conversation left Rachel exhausted and questioning herself. Then Rachel learned gray rock. Her mother called and started in with the usual criticism. Your sister would never treat me this way. I don't know why you're so difficult. Old Rachel would have defended herself for 20 minutes. New Rachel said, okay. Her mother was thrown. That's all you have to say. Yep. Her mother tried for 15 more minutes to get a reaction. Rachel repeated variations of "that's interesting" and okay. Her mother eventually got frustrated and ended the call. And here's what Rachel told me. She didn't call me for 3 weeks. When she finally did, she was normal, pleasant, even, because she learned that calling to criticize wasn't rewarding anymore. Scenario 2. The bait. Narcissists love to drop bait. They'll make a provocative statement designed to pull you into an argument. I heard you got passed over for that promotion. I'm not surprised. You've never been very ambitious. Your gray rock. Response: that's it. Not okay. Just the most boring possible acknowledgement that you heard words come out of their mouth. They'll wait for you to say more. Don't. Let the silence sit. If they push, don't you have anything to say about that? You, not really. And you change the subject to something incredibly boring. Did you see they're repaving the parking lot? I worked with a client named Sharon, 52, who had a narcissistic coworker. This coworker would constantly make subtle digs, trying to get Sharon to react so she could play victim to their boss. Wow, you're wearing that today. Interesting choice. Old Sharon would have felt self-conscious, maybe defended her outfit, or made a joke to deflect. New Sharon said, "Yep," and walked away. The coworker followed, trying again. "I just mean, it's very bold. Not everyone could pull that off." Sharon, and continued walking. Within a month, the coworker stopped targeting Sharon because Sharon was boring. She didn't give reactions. She wasn't fun to mess with anymore. Scenario 3. The false emergency. Narcissists love to create drama and chaos, often in the form of urgent problems that require your immediate attention and emotional energy. "I need you to drop everything right now. This is an emergency." Your gray rock response. What's the emergency? They explain some dramatic situation that, upon examination, isn't actually an emergency. Your response. That sounds stressful, and you don't offer to fix it. They escalate. Aren't you going to help me? You. What do you need specifically? Notice what you're doing. You're not getting swept up in the drama. You're not feeding their need for chaos. You're calmly asking practical questions with no emotional investment. If they can't give you a specific, reasonable request, you say, "Let me know if you figure out what you need," and you disengage. Let me tell you about Margaret, 49, whose ex-husband is a narcissist. They share custody of teenagers, so she can't go no contact. He would constantly create emergencies. "The kids need new shoes and I can't afford them. You need to handle this today." Old Margaret would have panicked, felt guilty, rushed to buy shoes, and then found out later he'd spent money on himself that same day. New Margaret said, "Send me the receipt when you buy them, and I'll reimburse my half." He escalated. "I just told you I can't afford them. Why are you being so difficult?" Margaret. That sounds frustrating, and didn't engage further. He tried 3 more times. Each time, Margaret gave boring, practical responses with zero emotional investment. Eventually, he stopped creating fake emergencies because Margaret was no longer rewarding to manipulate. "I need to be honest with you about something." Gray rock is a technique for managing narcissists when you can't go no contact, but it's not a permanent solution. Gray rock is a strategy for minimizing damage. It's not a way to have a healthy relationship with a narcissist, because you can't have a healthy relationship with someone you have to protect yourself from by being boring. If you have the option to go no contact, that's always the better choice. Gray rock is for situations where cutting contact isn't possible. Co-workers, co-parents, family members you see at holidays. Also, gray rock doesn't work on everyone. Some narcissists see your lack of reaction as a challenge. They escalate indefinitely because they're determined to get supply from you specifically. If gray rock isn't working after several months, if the narcissist is escalating to dangerous levels, you need a different strategy. That might mean legal boundaries, going full no contact despite the complications, or getting professional support. And here's something else. Gray rock is exhausting. Constantly monitoring your reactions, staying emotionally flat. It takes a toll. It's not sustainable forever. Use gray rock as a bridge to getting out of the situation, setting harder boundaries, or building a life where that narcissist has less and less access to you. Don't mistake managing a narcissist for healing from one. Gray rock helps you minimize damage, Actual healing happens when they're no longer in your life at all. Here's what I want you to remember. Narcissists need your reactions. They need your anger, your explanations, your emotional investment. When you become boring, when you give them nothing but bland acknowledgement, you remove their supply. That's interesting. okay. These aren't magic words that make narcissists disappear. They're strategic disengagement. They're you refusing to play a game you can never win. It's going to feel wrong at first. You're going to feel cold, rude, guilty. That's your empathy talking. The same empathy the narcissist has been exploiting. But being boring to a narcissist isn't cruel. It's self-preservation. Practice it this week. The next time a narcissist tries to provoke you, tries to bait you into an argument, tries to make you explain or defend yourself, don't. Just say, okay, and watch what happens. You're not giving them what they want. You're giving yourself peace. Drop a comment. Have you tried Grey Rock? What happened? And if you want to know how to spot a narcissist before they sink their hooks in, hit subscribe. Next video is about the early warning signs everyone misses.